theme of that or not, but it was an attitude of gratitude. I had asked you to really think about all the things to be thankful for, because I know we have a lot to be thankful for. And unfortunately, that became a stark reality last weekend when we lost a young man, when we lost Logan Warnicki, hit by a car. So sudden, without warning, without any preparation, something can be taken away that quickly. Logan was so much like many of you. Bright smiles on your faces, enjoying your experience at Vianney, up and down the hallways, moving around with his buddies. He was named one of the top 10 funniest seniors. He just had this personality. The reason I bring Logan up is just to be thankful, to continue on that attitude of gratitude, because we just don't know what the future brings in most cases. Today, though, we have a little bit of a glimpse into our future. Last Wednesday, I was on the PA, and I mentioned to you that we just shared with the faculty and staff that our board of directors have named the next president of St. John Vianney High School, and that I would introduce that gentleman to you today. So it's with great honor that this morning, standing to my left, is Mr. Rick Davis. That I can introduce you to Mr. Davis during the Advent season on the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, because it ties right into our Marian's mission. As you just heard a beautiful homily this morning about our Mother Mary and our devotion to her, Mr. Davis has that same devotion, and that's something that he will share for many years to come with the Vianney community. He's no stranger to Vianney. Mr. Davis was here, and I encourage you, if you want to get a little chuckle, check out his photo in the composites in the back. He has a larger afro his senior year than any student that I can remember in recent years. Things have changed. When Mr. Davis was here, he played football, played baseball, member of student council, a lot of clubs and activities. He was very engaged in the community. In the last 9 years, he has served in a volunteer role, no pay, to shape and form Vianney. For 3 years, he was actually the chair of our board of directors, which means he was my boss, that I reported to him and the board. He knows Vianney very well. With a lot of prayer, with a lot of thought, with a lot of discussion with his family, he has said yes, like Mary said yes. Not for sure knowing all he's going to get into, but knowing that this is a calling that he has to lead Vianney well into the future. I'm excited not for what he has done in the past, and that list of accomplishments is pretty significant. What I'm excited about to be able to introduce Mr. Davis and my successor is who he is. You will find very quickly that Mr. Davis is a man of integrity, honest, dependable, hardworking. Over and over again, he has demonstrated that he's kind, he's generous, he's a good listener. In a moment, you'll meet some of his family members, but I can tell you he's a good husband and a caring father. He's a community leader. Those are the things we talk to you guys about all the time, that he is modeled for us to be a man of character and accomplishment, and that's what he will do going forward in this role. Seniors, I really wish that you would have the opportunity to get to know Mr. Davis. Unfortunately, you're going to be on your way out when he assumes his responsibilities in July. But for everyone else in the room, I think I can promise, I'm 100% confident that you're going to like him, you're going to enjoy him, you're going to embrace him, and you're going to find that he is going to be a wonderful leader of this community to take us to even greater heights. So at this time, I would please ask you to give a warm welcome to the next president.
Very much. Thanks for the warm welcome. And I just want to tell you how truly honored I am to be chosen as Vianney's next president, succeeding Mr. Loyet, who's done just an outstanding job leading our school for the past 13 years, and I think he deserves a huge round of applause as well. As a longtime board member, I know how dedicated Mr. Loyet, his leadership team, faculty and staff have been to the school, and it really shows. It shows on the campus, in your educational programs, your extracurricular activities, in the faith formation that you receive here at Vianney, and most of all, in you, the students. You're the greatest ambassadors Vianney has. Vianney is truly the epitome of what a Catholic Marianist school should be, and again, it really shows. I want to take a minute to tell you about myself, but before I do, I would ask that you just indulge me for a second. There's something that's been actually hanging in my mom's closet for the past 40 years that I've really been meaning to wear again, and today seemed like a really good day to do it. So, hang on one second. That this thing would still fit me. It does a little, so thank you. As Mr. Loyet mentioned, I'm a proud member of the class of 1979. I didn't mention that, but I am. And here's a fun little fact about my class. If you go over to the field house and check out the banners hanging on the walls, and yes, I'm going to brag a little bit about my class, you'll notice that Vianney's first state championship was in 1978, which was fall of my senior year. And in fact, during the 78-79 school year, Vianney took home not one, but 2 state championships, one for soccer and the other for hockey, which was the beginning of many championships the school has won in a variety of sports over the last 4 decades, and we're going to win many more. While attending Vianney, as Mike said, I participated in student council, student court. We had a student court back then. And as a senior, I was a big brother helping freshmen with their transition to high school. I also played football, baseball, and at the time, a brand new club sport, racquetball. A few other interesting items about my time here at Vianney. Mr. Loyet was actually a junior while I was here. And Mr. McVeigh, who's the manager of our Griffin Gear store, was a big brother for my freshman homeroom. So as you might have guessed already, these guys were much, much older than me. And, but I really tried to get involved after starting here. And not only did that involvement really deepen my love for Vianney, but it helped forge lasting friendships. And I have to tell you that many of my best friends were classmates of mine here at Vianney. They've been groomsmen in our wedding, godfather to our children, and we keep in touch on a regular basis and we see each other as often as we can. And these men, my classmates, remain a very important part of my life, like you will always remain an important part of each other's lives. And like many of you, I was kind of apprehensive when I walked through the doors as a freshman, not knowing what to expect or how I would fit in here. And unlike many of my classmates, I actually attended a public grade school in middle school, which at that time, and it's not that way anymore, but at that time, it wasn't really a typical route to a Catholic high school here in St. Louis. In fact, when I started here, I only knew 2 other students. And they went to my middle school, and as luck would have it, they were in none of my classes freshman year. But as it turns out, it really didn't matter, because not long after I walked through those doors, I felt like Vianney was my second home, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. The welcoming atmosphere and the way that the faculty and staff really cared about students is nothing new. In fact, they've always been a part of Vianney, and they always will. It's really part of the school's DNA. It's like the black and the gold, and in my humble opinion, it's like the greatest mascot on the face of the earth, the Golden Griffin. I've loved Vianney since my freshman year, and later throughout my life, I wanted to support the school as an alum, a donor, a board member, board chair, and now, as it turns out, your future president. And I'm really, really honored and humbled. I went on to study business at St. Louis University, and there I was also fortunate enough to meet my wife, Bridget. And in a few weeks, we'll celebrate our 35th wedding anniversary. And Bridget's here today with our 3 children. Rick, who's married, and he works in information technology at a company called Daycom. My daughter, Molly, who's a nurse at Children's Hospital. And she's newly engaged, so we're looking forward to another wedding with family next November. And our youngest daughter, Anne, who's a CPA at PricewaterhouseCoopers. And along with my wife and children is my mom, Mary Lee Davis. And in fact, I have to say my mom is really the reason that my younger brother and I attended Vianney. I think I was maybe a 7th grader. My mom was starting out in real estate. And one of her early clients was a history teacher here at Vianney named Mr. Bob Hoffman. And he's since retired, but he's in the Hall of Fame here. And little did we know that while my mom was selling Mr. Hoffman and his wife a new house, she was also getting some advice on where my brother and I would go to high school. So one night at the dinner table, my mom just kind of announced that my brother and I would be attending Vianney after graduating from middle school. And I'm seriously, guys, it was like, pass the salt, you're going to Vianney. It was kind of that direct. So basically, the Davis boys never attended an open house or high school night or shadow day. It was Vianney from day one, and it turned out to be a great decision for both of us. So after college and graduate school, I spent the next 35 years in the business world working in sales and management positions with Anheuser-Busch, leading the sales and marketing team for a pet food company, and for a while raising money to support a shelter for homeless teens, which was a great job. A few years ago, I decided to create and teach a college-level business course at the University of Missouri, St. Louis. And during this time, I really realized that there's something great about being back on campus, back in a school atmosphere. And with that regard, in particular to Vianney, there's something even greater when you're passionate about the school and committed to its ongoing success, and I certainly am. So beginning in January, I'll be here on campus a few days a week, transitioning into my new role. I'll be working very closely with Mr. Loyet, Mr. Mulligan, the staff and faculty to learn more about how Vianney operates on a day-to-day basis and to help prepare for the opportunities and challenges that may lie ahead. I also hope to spend some time in classes, so if you see me in the hall looking a bit lost as I try and find my way to a specific classroom, please introduce yourself and point me in the right direction. As for the job ahead, I know what's expected of me and honestly what I expect of myself, and that is to build on the success story that is St. John Vianney High School, so that future generations of young men, your sons, can experience what it's like to be part of this Catholic Marianist tradition that we call Vianney family. So I want to wish you all good luck on your exams next week. I also want to wish you a safe and happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I look forward to seeing you in January and getting to know as many of you as I possibly can. Even you seniors, I look forward to meeting you. So please keep Vianney in your prayers and know that you will always remain in mind. Thank you very much.